Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. Hook. What if I told you? For thousands of years, people looked at the moon and wondered, could a human ever stand there? Kings dreamed about it. Scientists imagined it. Children wished for it. But almost everyone believed it was impossible. Then, one quiet man changed history forever. His name was Neil Armstrong. This is the incredible true story of the first human being to walk on the moon. On the morning of August 5, 1930, in the small town of Wapakoneta, Ohio, a baby boy was born. No one could have imagined that one day his footprints would be left on another world. His name was Neil Armstrong. Unlike many children, Neil wasn't fascinated by toys. He was fascinated by the sky. Whenever an airplane flew overhead, he stopped everything just to watch it disappear into the clouds. At only 6 years old, his father took him on his first airplane ride. That single flight changed his life forever. From that moment, Neil knew exactly what he wanted. He wanted to fly. While other children spent their free time playing, Neil spent his reading books about airplanes. He built model aircraft. He learned everything he could. His dream wasn't becoming famous. His dream was touching the sky. At just 16 years old, before he even had a driver's license, Neil earned his pilot's license. He had already achieved something most adults never accomplish. But this was only the beginning. Years later, war broke out in Korea. Neil joined the United States Navy. He flew dangerous combat missions. Enemy bullets tore through the sky. During one mission, his aircraft was badly damaged. He narrowly escaped with his life. Many pilots would have quit after an experience like that. Neil didn't. Every challenge only made him stronger. After the war, he became a test pilot. It was one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Every flight meant testing aircraft that had never flown before. One small mistake could cost a life. But Neil had something rare. He never panicked. Even in the most dangerous situations, he remained calm. Nobody knew it yet, but that calm personality would one day save one of the most important missions in human history. In 1962, NASA selected Neil Armstrong to become an astronaut. At that time, the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in the space race. Both nations wanted to achieve what no human had ever done before: land on the moon. President John F. Kennedy had made a bold promise. America would send a man to the moon before the end of the decade. The pressure was enormous. Thousands of engineers worked day and night. Years of preparation followed. Finally, NASA announced the crew of Apollo 11: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins. Millions of people watched the launch live. On July 16, 1969, the massive Saturn V rocket shook the Earth as engines roared beneath them. Apollo 11 lifted into the sky. Humanity's greatest journey had begun. For 4 days, the astronauts traveled through the darkness of space. Then, the moon filled their windows. History was only hours away. Neil and Buzz entered the lunar module, called Eagle. Michael Collins stayed behind, orbiting the moon alone. Slowly, the Eagle descended. Everything seemed perfect. Then, suddenly, warning alarms sounded. The computer was overloaded. The planned landing site was covered with dangerous rocks. Neil made a decision. He took manual control. Fuel dropped lower and lower. Mission Control watched nervously. Only seconds of fuel remained. Then, Neil spoke the words that changed history forever. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Cheers erupted across Mission Control. Around the world, people cried with joy. Hours later, Neil slowly climbed down the ladder. Millions watched in complete silence. One final step remained. Then, his left foot touched the surface of the moon. For the first time in history, a human being stood on another world. Neil looked across the grey landscape and spoke words that would never be forgotten. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Those words echoed across the planet, not for America alone, but for all humanity. Soon, Buzz Aldrin joined him. Together they explored the moon, collected rocks, performed scientific experiments, placed instruments that scientists still study today. They spent only a short time there, but those few hours changed history forever. Back on Earth, people celebrated in every corner of the world. Neil Armstrong became one of the most famous men alive. Yet something remarkable happened. He never chased fame. He rarely gave interviews. He believed. The moon landing wasn't his achievement alone. It belonged to the hundreds of thousands of people who worked behind the scenes. That humility made people respect him even more. On August 25, 2012, Neil Armstrong passed away at the age of 82. But something extraordinary remains. His footprints are still on the moon today. There is no wind there, no rain, nothing to erase them. They may remain. For millions of years, Neil Armstrong proved something the world will never forget. Every impossible dream remains impossible until one person has the courage to take the first step. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to History Makers for more incredible stories from history.